Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. I wanted to come down here, be by this fence, so that I could build an illustration for you this evening. On the opposite side of this fence, what you're looking at is green pasture that the farmer here brings his cattle in and out of because it's lush and it's fruitful. It reaps a good harvest, and so his animals flourish behind me. Now, that green pasture, almost like a garden, I want you to picture, and I want you to let it represent a flourishing relationship, the love of a relationship, the friendship of a relationship, the closeness, the togetherness of a relationship, the potential of having a great relationship. Everything that has to do with you and your husband, your wife, your kids, maybe another family member or somebody at work, anybody at all that you want to have a relationship with, that you want to be close to. I want that green pasture to represent that flourishing relationship. Now, what happens and what the enemy does is he comes in, and the Bible tells us this is going to happen. The Bible tells us that we're not going to be able to go through life without offenses. Listen very carefully. We're going to get offended. And if we're not careful, these one-word statements, maybe something that was done unintentionally, said unintentionally, something happens, and it comes into our life, and if we're not careful, that offense, Satan will help us put that and stake that into the ground of our life. And you got to watch this. And you got to be very careful, because we're not going to get through this life without offenses, without being offended. Somebody that we love and care about is going to say something. Now, my great-grandmother said, Grandma Delphi, she said that any couple that says they never fight is either lying or they don't really love each other. She said, because if you truly love somebody, you truly care about them, you're going to care what they do or what they don't do. Now, I don't know how much truth there is in that, but that's what Grandma Delphi said. And in my years, that's what I've seen. People that care about each other, they have disagreements. They're going to say something that they didn't mean. They're going to do something or not do something that they should have done or that they shouldn't have done. And if we're not careful, Satan will help us put that offense in our life. Now, the question is, what do you do with it then when Satan hands it to you? When that person gives you that offense? The best thing that you can do is at that point, drop it. Doesn't mean not confront it. Doesn't mean not talk it out. It doesn't mean not have communication. But once that is hashed over and hashed out, drop it. Bible says in Matthew chapter 5, verse 25, agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast, watch this, into prison. Look, if you don't get good about dropping these offenses, what's going to happen is these offenses are going to come and they're going to build a fence. And that fence is going to separate you from that green pasture. You know, I just did a wedding the other day. What God has brought together, let no man put asunder. Exactly. But what happens is offenses build a fence between you and that person you love. You know, Kay and I love my wife. We're best friends. I don't know what I would do without her. But when we get in a car, we can sometimes, I'm telling you, we can have words. I got to be careful how I say this because she's actually just over there. But I have no sense of direction. Man, I can get turned around in a cul-de-sac and not know which way I'm going. My wife, on the other hand, she's got a great sense of direction. I don't know how good of a driver she actually is, though. And so I'm lost, and she's driving, and I don't know where I'm going, and she's not keeping it on the road, and we can have words. And we've got to be careful. And you say, and you might make the statement, well, wait a minute, is that the biggest thing that's going on in your life? No, but as I heard one preacher say recently, that's the one I'm going to tell you about. This is exactly what I mean when I talk about building strong relationships. At our couples retreats that we have, I'm strong about making sure that forgiveness, taking it off the table. You forgive, you forget. You take it off the table. You're not bringing it back up. And so God says do it quickly. When you've got a disagreement with somebody, get it off the table fast. Why? Because if not, that offense will become a fence. And you'll be in a prison that you're going to have a hard time getting out of from so many offenses that you've let Satan help you build a fence. I hope that made some sense to you. I believe if you can use that, if you can take that and apply that, that'll be such a help and a blessing to you in your church, with your church family, with your family, husband, wife, children. Make sure you take that piece of offense and drop it and get together in green pastures and flourish in that relationship. Thanks for listening.